Hello architects, and welcome back to another RPG Architect update video. My name is Bert, and today we're going to be looking at the updates that were made to the engine in June of 2025. There's one really big one in particular, and that is user interface effects. And so now, yes, you guys have been asking for it for a while, but it is finally in. I think it was a pretty big undertaking, but he got it knocked out this month, and that is you can have effects on different elements in your UI. And so the main ones that this works for is list items, templated lists, compass lists, and I think also it works with sliders. So you have one of these 4 elements in your UI. You can use the new effects tab to start adding effects in for that particular element. So just showing you real quick, we're on a slider element that I won't be using really, but I'll just show you. Whenever you click the effects tab, you now have these 4 options: disabled, focused, selected, and unfocused. We will be going into these more in depth at a later date, but really whenever you click on one of them, hit this little plus button and you have different effect options you can add in there. And then when you select any of them, you'll have your list of options pop up here, so you can set it to whether you use it or not. Is it recycling? So is it repeating? You can adjust the color mask appearance, change the color mask of something. You can set it to grayscale. You can just do a hue shift. You can adjust the opacity. You can move the position around of these elements using offsets or just the scale, the size of it. There's also this easing function section, which this kind of determines the look of the animation. So you have a bunch of options here of it bouncing, of it being kind of a circular motion, elastic, exponential, just an instant thing, linear, or sinusoidal, this one, sinusoidal. I'm sure I said that wrong, but I don't care, it's fine. Then whichever one you select, like we'll choose bounce for instance, it adjusts the options you have here, so you can set how many bounces, how elastic is it, the gravity, that kind of thing. So you can play around with those to get the kind of look that you want. There's also value modifiers. I believe this is all working now. When the other day when he first added this effects tab, this was visible but not actually working, and I believe this is actually fully working now. I have not messed with it at all, but you can set value modifiers, use an image or a sprite, and then define that image or sprite here. You can use a text to define that text here, or you can use different templates, but I've not jumped into this too much yet, so I'll just leave it at that. But then you can also set conditions on when this effect will be triggered, okay? And so I actually have an example set up for you on this menu list item. So I'm gonna click on that, go to my items, go to effects. You can see I have something unfocused and selected. The focused script here, I do not have recycling checked. This one's basically just going to apply a color mask, turns the opacity down a little bit, and then it is using the position features. It's just going to scale. So this, whenever we move over these menu list items, it is going to grow a little bit. This is the time it's going to take, and this is the exponent that's going to be applied. But then essentially once it finishes this animation, it moves from focus to selected, and this one does loop. This is where the animation stays as long as we are selected on it. So I set the settings again. It's basically the same thing I did, although the easing function I set to instant. But basically what that does is gives us a little something like this. So we are on our menu, and as I move between items, you see it grows and then it stops. So basically this is the focused when it's growing, that's the focus script, and then this is the selected script of it just staying bigger than the other options, okay? We'll go over that in more depth at another point, but this is just to let you guys know that is in. That is very cool. So now UI stuff is about to get way more interesting. I'm here for it. In addition to that, Lock has also added a couple options under the transition section here, really that being movement. So if you select movement and then hit edit, you now have these options to go through on how the enter and exit transition, how they move. So I did a little example for that too. With this is just a temporary items menu, and you see I have movement already set up on the transitions. I click edit. I have set my duration for entering. I want it to be 100% off screen, so the window would be down here essentially, and then on exiting, the window is going to be up here, so I need it to return back down. So it's going to be like this little pane moves up when you enter and down when you exit. And actually let me set my speed the same as the enter transition, but this is what that will look like. If I go into my menu, if I select items, the window pops up. When I exit, goes back away. Pops up, goes away. Back and to the left. So that's really cool. I'm really excited for this stuff. I gotta get a little bit more acclimated with it, but I do really like that option is in here now. In addition to that, layers have received a blend option. So if you go to your map layers configuration, you click the little cog, you'll see here under visual, there's now a blend mode. So you can, if you're familiar with any kind of like photo editing software, you might recognize these things like additive, you know, alpha blend, burn, blah, 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 shade. So you might be familiar with these. Non-pre-multiplied just means like basic, just like nothing, just as it's seen, you know, don't do nothing. But that is going to be a cool feature. Not sure if it really works in 3D. Locke kind of recommended against it in his update post, but in 2D, this is going to be a kind of a big deal. So that is a very cool addition as well. And the last thing I want to talk about today is that entities now have tag support. So basically, if you click on an entity, you go to local data up here, you can now add tags to your various entities. So that's pretty cool. I'm not sure how I would use it just yet, but I know that since it was added in, there is certainly a use there for it that I'm just not aware of, but that is now doable. So you have tags on your entities as well, okay? There were a few other bug fixes made. There was a bug fix added for tile tags, a few other things. But as usual, you can go to Steam. You can check the update patch notes. Locke goes through. He's very consistent with his updates, and he always makes sure to post it up here. So if you need to find out more information about what was changed during your updates, you can do that here. And now with the addition of the easing functions, the UI element, the UI effects element, RPGA is now over 90% of the way towards 1.0. This is our roadmap. These are the things. Here's the things he has been knocking out, or he has knocked out, and here are the things he has left that he would like to put in before version 1.0. So we are getting there, folks. It's almost here. So that is really exciting. This was a huge one, and so we are very excited that we are well on our way to version 1.0. Okay, so that's going to do it for this update video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Be sure to stay tuned the next coming weeks. We're about to jump into setting up our UI elements, our user interfaces. You can see a little example here, a little preview of what's to come, and then once we get finished with this, we will be moving into setting up a battle system. And I know a lot of you are excited for that. It has been a long time coming, but we will get there very quickly here. It'll be here before you know it. So thank you again so much for the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and let me know what you think about these updates. And if you haven't already, subscribe. It does help us out a lot. And you'd be amazed at how many people come into the Discord and say, oh, I saw the tutorials, I saw the update videos, and I had to pick up the engine because I saw these videos. So by being active on this channel, you really are helping us get out the word about this really awesome engine. We do appreciate it. And if you are new here and you haven't picked up your copy yet, please be sure you do. We are still in early access, and like I just showed, we are getting close to 1.0, and once we enter 1.0, we are no longer in early access phase, everybody. We're almost there. So grab your copy now while you can, while it's still in EA, and it just gets better every single day. It just constantly improves. So we are excited about that. And if you'd like to support me further, you can do so over at patreon.com/bitbybitsound. That helps me to make these update videos. It helps me to make great songs for you guys to use in your RPGA projects, and it is much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for the support. All right, that's going to do it for me today. You have been amazing. I have been Bert, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.